Today I'm going to show you how to do repeating a layer and repeating a pattern in Photoshop. All you're going to need to do is you're going to need to open up a new Photopia or new Photoshop, find an image that you like, so I've chosen a strawberry, copy, and go to your Photopia or your Photoshop and paste that in. So go to the move tool, make sure that you can move it around, and I'll show you how to change the size of it later. I'm just going to click on my background, so my layer 0 there, and I'm going to choose my background colour. Okay, so I'm just changing it to whatever I like. So I'm thinking about the different colours that could possibly be, something maybe contrasting to the object that you've chosen. Once you're happy, click OK. You're then going to go to your paint bucket tool, so I'm going to just go into my little drop down and select my paint bucket, select the background. Now you can see there, that strawberry now, I can see it's got a white box around it, so I'm going to need to change that. Now you can do this using the magic wand tool, or you can go to select subject, and it will select the subject, so hopefully the whole strawberry. Select and inverse, so it's select the background, delete that by clicking backspace, and then select and deselect. That's the quickest way to do this, and it's actually really accurate most of the time, so it's probably quicker than using your magic wand tool. When you've done that, you need to then start to position and edit. So you go to edit, transform and scale, so I'm going to change the size of it. Make sure you hold down your shift key so you don't distort your object. So once you're happy with that size, you can move it into the position. To create another layer, all you're going to do is you're going to drag that layer down to that little plus point next to the bin at the bottom. Drag it down, that'll create a copy of that layer, and then you can move that. Okay, I'm going to delete this layer now, and I'm going to show you how to create a drop shadow first to make it look more realistic, so it doesn't look like it's floating. Back click on your layer and go to blending options. So you've got all these options, go right to the top and go to blending options. You're then going to go to drop shadow. You can see immediately there it's gone, and God, there you go, there's your shadow, and you can select one of the two and you can change like the opacity or the fill, the angle, etc. So play around with that tool. It's a really good tool, but it's going to make it look really 3D, so that's really important. Once you're happy with it, go to OK, and again then you can drag your layer down to that plus box next to the bin, and it'll create a copy of your layer. You just need to move your object. So now I'm going to start to create my repeated pattern. I will literally drag it down to create another copy and then move it. Notice I'm always going for and looking at those pink lines, looking at an equal distance between them all, so it's a repeated pattern. This is particularly in the style of an artist called Emily Blinko, so it's repeated food patterns. With this, you could also change your colours and your opacity and things like that. So there's loads of things that you can do to play around with this. I'm just showing you the basics. So it's literally just drag it down to the bottom and then move, using the move tool, moving your object along, making sure it's equally spaced. And I will just keep going and keep repeating until I've completely finished. So here I'm just adding in a bit of extra just to make it look a little bit more realistic, making sure my strawberry's like going off the page, so it looks like it's continuing off the page rather than just finishing up off there. I'm trying to make sure I get it at 48. Looks a bit close, so I'm just going to mess around with it a little bit more until it's right. Keep going back. There we go. So it makes it look like it's continuing off the page. All I'm going to do then is click on another of the strawberries and drag it back down again. So I've gone to my layer 1 there, dragged it, and then I can move it up, making sure it's got an equal distance. And I'll do this to fill the page. It might be that you want a gradient, so you might want different colours going from darker, like a darker red strawberry from the left going to a lighter, or even a different coloured strawberry to the right. It could be you go from colour to black and white as a gradient as well. It's entirely up to you. But at the moment I'm just getting these in position so you can see them. And that is how you create a repeated pattern on Photoshop or Photopea. And it's a repeating a layer as well.